Welcome.
Greetings, my dear code adventurers. In today's quest, we'll be diving into the arcane arts of Python in Ren'Py to craft a multi-page inventory system for our visual novel.
Wait, another inventory system? Didn't we conquer that dungeon twice already?
But this time, my dear Yvonne, it's an inventory of mystical proportions. We'll be conjuring pages upon pages of items. More treasure than even a dragon can hoard.
Focus, team. Every adventurer needs an organized inventory. Whether it's potions, swords, or a code snippet. We need them all at our fingertips. Let's make sure our viewers can craft one that's both practical and epic.
Okay.
Let's weave some logic into this story. With a little melody and a dash of code, we'll guide our viewers step by step. By the end, they'll have an inventory worthy of legends.
And don't forget, dear viewers, the code will be available on our Itchio page, totally free. Just like a royal gift because we love sharing our treasures with you.
So, adventurers, are you ready to join us on this epic journey? Hit that subscribe button, and let's make some magic together. And if you have any questions, or just want to chat, leave a comment below. Your support means the world to us.
Thank you very much.
Let's open the first scroll and let the adventure begin. Let's go all out, take this chance before it's gone.
Alright, now that the adventure has begun, it's time to prepare our inventory. We can't set off without being properly equipped.
Yes, equipment. It would be a shame to end up with a broken piece of armor in the middle of battle. Let's talk about what we need.
Do we really need to talk about empty slots? Can't we just fill them with cool stuff right away?
Patience, Ivan. It's important to have empty slots for future treasures. Otherwise, how will you store your legendary sword when you find it?
Exactly, Lyra. And speaking of storage, to get started properly, we need armor, boots, and a hat. Not for fashion, but to be ready for battle.
And in the general section, don't forget, a good manga for breaks and a few potions. That's our winning combo. There's nothing like a potion to heal after reading a bad chapter.
It's bad.
Alright, adventurers. We're about to dive into the heart of our quest. Let's start by creating the magical blueprints for items in our inventory. Keep your swords and your focus sharp.
I'm not listening.
This line tells Ren'Py, hey, we're about to start writing some Python code. It's like opening the spellbook to cast the first incantation.
Wait, why init Python? Is this some kind of spell?
Not exactly, my armored friend. It just tells Ren'Py that we're initializing Python code, so the system can handle complex operations like our inventory system. It's like setting up camp before a big battle.
Here's where the magic happens. This line defines our item class. It's like a magical recipe that tells our game what every item should have. All items in the inventory will follow this pattern.
Follow me!
Think of it as baking a cake. Whether it's a potion or a sword, they all start with this recipe. Just like how every song starts with the same few notes.
Now this part is super important. The init method is where we define what every item will have. When you create a new item, this function kicks in and sets up the item's key ingredients.
So, it's like when we give our knight here a mission. We tell him where to go, who to save, and how many monsters to slay. Every quest has a clear objective, just like every item has clear traits.
It's clear.
Exactly, Lyra. Now let's break down what this item needs.
The first thing every item needs is a name. How else will you know if you're picking up a healing potion or a slightly used sock?
I don't want to pick up a sock mid-battle. Names are crucial, I get it.
Next, we add a description. This is where we explain what the item does, or maybe add a little flavor text. You could say, this potion heals 50 HP, Or get creative with something like socks of questionable cleanliness.
Descriptions are where we can make things fun or mysterious. Ever found an item in a game and had no idea what it does? Yeah, let's avoid that. Descriptions save lives, literally.
And of course, we need a visual for our item. This is where the image comes in. Something to represent the item in your inventory. Whether it's a sparkly sword or a potion with a cute label, the image brings it to life.
Imagine picking up a sword and instead you see a picture of a banana. That wouldn't work, right? Let's make sure every item has a matching adorable image.
And finally, the category. Every item needs to be sorted properly, whether it's general items, weapons, outfits, or something else. By default, it's general, but we can get more specific when we need to.
This is like organizing your closet. You wouldn't keep your shoes with your potions, right? Categories help keep everything neat and tidy.
And that's it for creating our magical item class. With just these few lines, we've built the foundation for all the items in our game. Every item we create will follow this pattern, from swords to snacks.
Alright, I think I'm starting to get it. So when we pick up an item in the game, it's all based on this magical recipe.
Exactly, my friend. Every potion, every piece of armor follows these rules. Now, let's move on to how we actually fill our inventory with these items. Ready to see some real treasure?
My treasure.
Alright, we've seen what we have in the inventory. Now we need to make sure we know how many we have. Can't go on an adventure without enough potions for everyone, right?
So, here we introduce the Ren'Py item class. Think of it like a magic bag that not only holds items but also keeps track of how many you have. 2 potions, 5 magic wands, or 10 pairs of enchanted boots. It's all neatly stored here.
Oh yes, organization is key. Imagine if I lost one of my precious harps. Knowing how many I have saves me from a concert disaster.
Ah, here's the heart of any good inventory. The init function. Every time we add an item to our collection, we specify the item itself, and, most importantly, how many of it we have.
Here, self.item is the item in question. Whether it's a battle helmet, a potion, or even a legendary harp. It's the core element of the inventory.
And here's the key part, self.amount. This keeps track of how many of each item we have. Super handy when you want to avoid running out of potions mid-battle.
Very good.
In short, every time we add an item to the inventory, this class helps us know what item we have and how many. Simple, but essential to avoid chaos in the middle of a dungeon.
Now that we've got the basics down, we're ready to move on to the next step, making sure we can add and remove these items from the inventory safely.
The inventory is our magical chest. Everything we find along the way goes in here. It's like a bottomless bag, but more organized.
Good inventory management is like organizing spells. If you don't do it right, you'll end up casting confusion on yourself.
Init lets us decide how many items show up per page. Here, it's set to 18. Keeps the inventory clean and easy to navigate.
Here's the heart of it, self.items. This is where every single treasure goes, safe and sound in our enchanted inventory.
And this keeps it all under control. Self.items per page. It limits the number of items shown per page, so we don't drown in our own loot.
Good. Now that we've got things organized, it's time to start adding and removing items. We're ready for anything.
The add item function is the spell of the hour. We use it every time we stumble across gold, gear, or whatever this shiny thing is.
This is the spell that lets us actually add things to our inventory. It takes 2 things, item and amount. Pretty straightforward, right? Default amount is 1, but you can always grab more if you're lucky.
The for loop checks if we already have the item in our items list. If we do, it just increases the amount instead of adding it twice. No duplicates, no mess.
Think of it like stacking songs on a playlist. If you've already got the melody, you just increase the volume instead of adding the same song again.
But if the treasure's new, into the inventory it goes. The append method makes sure we save it for later. Every item deserves its place in the hoard. That's how we stay organized. Whether it's gold, potions, or crowns, everything has its place. And trust me, I'll need plenty of space for my royal collection.
Good work, everyone. Now we can grab all the loot we want without cluttering things up. Ready for the next treasure hunt?
We've picked up a lot of loot lately. It's time to clean house before we run out of space for the good stuff. Let's decide what stays and what goes.
First, we use remove item to find what we want to toss. But if it's still useful, we just reduce the amount. It's all about balance.
We search through the inventory for the right item. It's like a gentle blessing. We only remove what's needed, no more, no less.
Oh, do we really need to do this? Can't we just dump the junk?
It's basically like cleaning out your closet, Ivan. Only toss it if it's empty or unfashionable.
Okay. I get it now. Only toss what's truly gone. But we better be replacing all this junk with something way cooler.
I'm afraid we'll have to replace it.
One by one, we lower the amount. Like lowering the volume on a song. Just a little less each time, but the melody isn't lost.
But once it hits 0, no second chances. The item's gone for good. We can't afford to clutter our space with useless junk.
And poof, the item vanishes into the void. No drama, no regrets. It's like a spell that cleans up your mess.
Exactly. Now let's get back to finding some treasures to fill these empty slots. We've got space for the real good stuff now.
Alright team, we've got a lot of items. The real question is, how many pages do we need to flick through to see them all?
First, we filter. If you only want to see your potions, just filter the category. It's like sorting your magical spells by element. Lightning on page 1, fireballs on page 2.
Right. The filter ensures you only see what's important. It's a bit like choosing your blessings. You don't need to see them all at once. Just the ones that matter in the moment.
Let's master the magic of organization.
And here's the clever part. Even if the last page only has one item, it still counts as a full page. No half-baked inventories here.
We always round up. So no matter how few items are left, we don't skip over the last page. Every treasure deserves its spotlight.
And even if your inventory's nearly empty, we always show at least one page. You never want to open an empty book, even if there's only a single spell left.
Alright everyone. Now that we've gathered all these items, it's time to organize them. We can't just toss everything into one big page. No one wants to dig through 50 potions, looking for a single sword.
But over here, there's nothing.
Sorting spells activated. Let's organize everything.
First, we need to figure out what kind of items we're dealing with. You know, like picking what type of quest we're going on. Treasures, weapons, outfits. We filter them into categories so we don't get overwhelmed.
Once we've narrowed down the items, we calculate how many we can display on each page. It's like setting the perfect spell range. You don't want to overdo it, or things get chaotic.
Think of it as arranging your stage performance. You don't want all the special effects at once. Keep it balanced and paced.
That way, no matter how many items we have, everything stays organized. And when it's time for battle or crafting, we'll know exactly where to find what we need.
Exactly. And once we have our starting and ending points, we present everything in a neat little package, like a perfectly wrapped royal gift.
Surprise!
Alright, adventurers. We've collected so many items that it's getting a little chaotic. Time to organize this madness. We'll filter through categories, like deciding which quest to tackle first.
Ah, the art of categorizing. Like sorting spells by element, fire, ice, thunder. One does not simply mix them together without consequences.
So, here's the deal. If we're looking for specific types of items, like just weapons or potions, we apply a filter. It's like narrowing down a shopping list, focused and efficient.
Very efficient.
What if I want to see everything? Weapons, potions, rocks? No filter needed. Just give me the whole collection.
Even, of course you'd want all the items. If there's no specific category filter, then we just show everything. Nice and easy.
Good strategy. Whether you're gearing up for battle or organizing for a long journey, keeping things filtered makes it easier to find exactly what you need.
Alright team, let's see how our inventory system works when we actually use something. It's not enough to collect items. Sometimes we need to consume them. Ready to brew some magic?
Ah yes, the art of using items. Like casting a spell. First, we check if we actually have the item. Can't use a potion that's empty, right?
Drink restored. The fight continues. But if there's none left, no matter how much you want to use it, you're out of luck. Like swinging an empty sword. Pointless.
Exactly. Using an item reduces the amount by 1, and if it drops to 0, well, say goodbye to that item. It's gone from your inventory for good.
Every end brings a new beginning.
And of course, we need to keep our adventurer updated. A notification will pop up to let them know what happened. No surprises, just clarity.
The clarity.
It's like when you use a potion, and then, poof, it's gone. But you feel better, so it's worth it.
Oops. Guess I forgot to pack again.
Alright everyone, these are the key variables that will manage our inventory system. Pay close attention, but try not to fall asleep this time either.
No promises, Mia. I just hope these key variables actually help when I'm mid-battle and need a potion.
All units, follow my lead. Precision is key. The inventory object is our core. Think of it like a magical chest where everything is stored. Armor, potions, and Yvonne's collection of helmets, apparently.
Hey, those helmets saved my life once.
And of course, we have item up, which is like a mystical aura that hovers over the item we're currently examining. Very arcane, don't you think?
Current page is how we keep track of where we are in the inventory. We'll need this when we have way too many items to fit on one screen. It's like flipping through pages in a book.
Or like skipping through my songbook to find the perfect tune.
Sure, because who doesn't love flipping through endless pages of potions when a dragon's breathing down your neck?
And obviously we need to know if the inventory is open or closed. Can't be caught trying to rummage for potions if it's locked, right?
I said once. One time it was locked.
With current category, we can filter through all the items by type. Armor, potions, anything we've gathered. No need to sort through everything when you know exactly what you're looking for.
Lastly, empty slot image is the representation of all the empty space where future loot will go. A symbol of opportunity and treasure yet to be found.
Leave it to Prince to make an empty slot sound like a prophecy.
Also, selected item just tells us what we're holding, so we know if we're about to heal with a potion or accidentally throw a helmet at a goblin.
Okay, I get it. These variables keep us from getting lost in our own inventory. But don't expect me to go digging through pages of potions during a fight.
Don't worry, Yvonne. With these variables, we'll be more than ready. Now who's up for a quick practice before we face the real challenges?
Challenge me, if you dare.
Alright everyone, the next task is to design a button style for our inventory. It's not just about functionality, it's about making it cute, clickable, and well, magical.
Cute and magical, huh? I'd sell for a button that doesn't vanish when I need it most.
Behold, the framed button. It's not just any button. This one has a soothing and lucky color. Hash 477,477 to be precise. A mystical hue guaranteed to bring success.
And of course, we need a hover effect. When you hover over it, it'll change to hash 679,679. Just to let you know it's ready for action. Always good to know when you're about to click something important.
Don't forget, it needs to be comfortable to click. With padding of 6 pixels all around, it'll feel like a cloud under your cursor.
Finally, the text. White as pure snow, shining against the background like the moon in the night sky. Clear, bold, and unmistakable.
Perfect. With these settings, our buttons will be as functional as they are adorable. Ready to click through some inventory pages with me?
Look, adventurers! The portal to our inventory is almost ready. All we need to do is prepare this green inventory button. It will sit at the center of our screen, waiting to be clicked, revealing all our collected treasures.
The inventory holds all our glorious loot. We need it to stand out. That's why we give it a sleek dark gray background, hash 222,222, like a shadowy treasure chest waiting to be opened.
Unlock the path to endless treasures.
The button sparkles and invites. When we click it, magic happens. It does 3 things at once, like a performer on stage.
That's right. First, it opens the inventory. Then it hides itself, so we don't clutter the screen. And finally, it sets a variable so we know the inventory is open. Efficiency's key.
My handle keys.
Alright folks, let's make sure this inventory stays on top. Nothing worse than scrambling for potions while it's hidden under some random pop-up.
Yeah, we get it. Inventory first. It's not like we're out here in a life or death quest or anything.
The hold. The modal spell, an ancient enchantment that locks the player's focus. No distractions. Only the sacred inventory.
Ah, but it needs to look pretty too. Right? A dark blue vibe, soothing but powerful. I mean, we don't want our items floating around in some chaotic mess, do we? Feel the rhythm of victory.
Let's make this efficient. Inventory button disappears when the screen's open, comes back when we're done. Clean, no fuss.
If players click around, let's not confuse them. Reset the hovered items so they're not staring at the wrong thing.
Reset.
Okay, let's get this grid organized. We'll center it, but just slightly above the middle. Keeps it tidy, right?
Right, 'cause gods forbid we have an off-center grid. Are we really fighting dragons or organizing a bookshelf?
Even. It's not just a grid, it's a mystical grid. 6 columns, 3 rows. A perfect harmony of numbers.
Wow, 6 whole columns. Truly, I'm honored to fight beside such an organizational genius.
You're both impossible. The spacing makes sure everything looks clean, Eva. Unless you'd rather your potions get lost between your socks and whatever you call that helmet.
Speaking of organization, can we make sure the grid doesn't glitch if there's no item in a slot? Last thing we need is Ivan clicking on air thinking he's found treasure.
Yeah, wouldn't want to click a hole in the inventory and get sucked into some void. Though I bet Prince would enjoy that.
Focus, adventurers. Once we grab the item, we'll wrap it in a frame. Add a bit of padding so it doesn't look squished. And if it's selected, we'll make it pop with some green.
Precision is power.
Good. Keeps everything clear. But can we not go overboard on the green? Ivan's going to think he's picked up some radioactive armor at this rate.
Hey, as long as I can find my potions when I need them, you can make it glow neon for all I care.
Don't tempt me, Yvonne. Let's add the image button now. Make it clickable so you can't complain about missing your items.
Can't complain, really.
Tap, swipe, conquer. Now it's clickable. Feel the magic, Ivan. When you hover over an item, it'll glow like a spell ready to be cast.
Ah yes, the magical art of hovering. Truly you've outdone yourself, Prince.
Alright, now for the empty slots. We'll add a placeholder so it looks tidy even when there's nothing there.
Sprinkle of charm, and voila!
Alright, I'll admit it does look neat. Just don't expect me to click on any empty slots. I've got standards.
I'll take that as a compliment. Now, let's finish this up. Everything's in its place.
Now that we've organized the grid, it's time to add the navigation controls. We'll put the buttons at the bottom, centered, but a little lower so they don't get in the way of the items.
Great buttons. Because nothing screams epic adventure like a previous button. We can't just carry everything at once.
Don't worry, Ivan. The buttons make sure we can flick through pages easily. And we'll add some space between them so it doesn't look cramped.
Spacious, isn't it?
Follow my lead. Every step counts.
These aren't just any buttons. They hold the power to take us back and forth across time, or rather, across the pages of our inventory. Behold, the previous button.
Yeah, real magical, Prince. What's next? The legendary next button?
Actually, yes. But if we're on the first page, the previous button will just be plain text. No use slipping backward when there's nothing to go back to.
Simple but effective. Keeps things clear so no one's confused when the previous button disappears. Now let's calculate how many pages we need to show.
I'm bad at math.
Wait, how many pages are we talking here? I didn't sign up for a flipping marathon.
Fear not, brave knight. We'll show the current page number along with the total, so you'll know exactly how much farther you have to go. Behold, the page count display.
Logic leads the way.
This way you can always see what page you're on and how many are left. And now, the legendary next button.
Ah, the sacred next button. Truly, this is a moment of triumph for all adventurers. I can now click my way into infinity.
Not quite infinity, just until the last page. After that, the next button will also be plain text, so you know you've reached the end.
Can't reach it!
Onward with a song.
And there you have it. With the power of these buttons, you shall traverse the inventory at will. Onward, my friends.
We've got our items neatly displayed, but it's easy to get overwhelmed with so many options. Let's make it simpler. We'll add a category selection button so you can filter through the items.
Finally, a way to filter through all the junk. I don't need to scroll past a bunch of potions when all I want is my armor.
That's the idea. This way we can switch between categories, armor, potions, whatever you need. Keeps everything clean and easy to find.
And the button itself, dear friends, must look powerful. A solid background. #222,222. Dark and mysterious, like the void of space. But with just the right amount of padding.
That's right.
Oh, a category button. Like choosing the right song from my playlist. It should be as easy as tapping to switch between genres, right?
Exactly, Lyra. The button will show whatever category is currently selected. And when we click it, it'll open the category selection menu, giving us even more control over the inventory.
So I just click, pick armor, and bam, all my gear's right there. I'm starting to like this.
Indeed. You can sort your treasures, potions, and enchanted items with a mere tap of the button. The category system will be your greatest ally in battle.
Or, you know, it's just practical. No need to get dramatic, Prince. It's a simple button.
So dramatic.
Alright team, we've got the items displayed and the categories organized. Now we need a way to close the inventory when we're done. Simple, right?
All set. Let's move forward.
Ah, the close button. Finally a way to pay out when I've had enough of staring at potions and armor. No offense, but I don't live in the inventory.
It's not just about closing, Yvonne. When you hit the button, it also clears everything, like resetting the hover so you don't accidentally stay stuck on an item.
I'm stuck.
Yes, it's important to reset things properly. When the inventory closes, it's like putting away your gear after a long battle. Everything should be in its place.
And where shall this magical button sit? Not just anywhere, of course. It must be perched elegantly at the top right, like a guardian overseeing the inventory's safe closure.
Okay, let's make sure we have a way to show details when the player hovers over an item. It's no use having all this gear if you don't know what it is or how much you've got.
Ah yes. Nothing like finding out you've got 3 health potions when you thought you had 10. Real helpful in the middle of a fight, let me tell you.
That's why we need this. As soon as the player hovers over an item, we'll show the important details. Name, description, and how many they have. Simple but essential.
A dark, translucent frame at the bottom. Subtle, but full of mystery. The perfect place for revealing what secrets our items hold. Not too flashy, just enough to catch the eye.
Essential.
And inside that frame, we need to display the name, description, and quantity. Clear and to the point. We don't want the player guessing what they're holding.
Name, description, and amount. It's like a little inventory song, telling you exactly what's in your hand.
Yeah. As long as I know how many swords I've got and whether they're actually sharp, I'm good. But having that use button handy, that's the real trick.
Exactly. The Use button gives the player the ability to act on the item right there. No extra clicks or searching. Just hover, check, and use.
Use the power of friendship.
Oh, organization is a noble art. The inventory, our treasure trove, must be carefully navigated. One does not simply drown in loot.
It's actually pretty simple. While the menu's open, everything else fades into the background. It keeps us focused on what we need. And besides, it looks nice, doesn't it?
It's like setting the perfect stage. Everything fades away except the spotlight. Only the main act, our items, take center stage.
Right. Because my boots need a spotlight.
We're trying to keep things functional here, not flashy. The idea is to make it easy to focus. Once you open the menu, you make your choice, then move on. Efficient.
Or, if you want to live in chaos like Ivan, just hit all, and let the clutter rain down upon you.
Charting a clear course ahead.
But if you do want to filter things like, say, just armor or potions, then this menu's here to make that easier. You can switch between categories and it'll automatically reset the view.
Yeah, alright. Maybe I'll admit this is handy, but only because I don't want to scroll through 50 identical potions every time I need one.
The sweet sound of reason. Even a knight cannot resist the power of a well-organized inventory.
Really well organized.
Oh, and if you really can't make up your mind, we have the cancel button. You know, for those moments when a princess is too busy to decide right away.
Alright, I think we've got it. The menu's simple enough, but it'll definitely save us time when we're in a rush. Ready to move on?
Finally, it's time to add some items to our inventory. For tonight's reading corner, we'll add 5 manga books, enough to last a cozy evening. Let's dive into a world of stories.
Oof, more manga? And what good are these books when a dragon attacks?
No need to worry, Yvonne. I've got you covered. Let's add a trusty cloth hat for our adventuring needs. A royal touch to the summer breeze.
Ah, now we're talking. This hat not only protects us from dragon flames, but adds a touch of elegance, perfect for a day at the beach, too.
Perfect.
Preparedness is the mark of true royalty.
And because we should always be prepared, let's add 50 unique potions to the inventory. Variety is the spice of life.
Wait, 50? That's more potions than I can count. What are we preparing for? A marathon of magical sprints?
Every potion has its own tale, even. Perhaps one of them heals your impatience.
Potion Keeper, here we come!
Now we add the inventory button to the screen, so our adventurers can access it whenever needed. With this, we're set.
Ah, it's like a little reminder that our treasures are just a click away.
And to mark the start of our grand inventory, let's display a simple message. Finally, we'll return to the main menu, ready for any adventure that awaits.
Okay. We're ready for anything now. And next time a dragon shows up, I'll make sure to thank the 47th potion for saving the day.
And that's it for today's adventure. Thank you for sticking with us until the very end. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting content. Until next time, happy coding and have a blessed day.